Brought to you by Praxis Sports, the unified platform helping sports organizations manage communication, scheduling, and operations in one place. Learn more at praxisports.com.
There's a leisurely lunch with friends. And then there's a 7-course gourmet tasting lunch with 7 perfect wine pairings aboard a fully restored 1915 Pullman rail car as it floats past rolling hills and rows of vines stretching out as far as the eye can see. Napa Valley. Live a little, or a lot.
What would you like the power to do? Your passion for this game opens opportunities. For them, for our local businesses. Got the new merch.
Oh my goodness.
For the community. Because when local businesses thrive, the community also thrives. Bank of America champions everyone who dares to ask, what would you like the power to do? What would you like the power to do?
Unbelievable! That is a dream goal! They found it! They finally found the goal they were looking for!
What a finish that is! Do not scratch your eyes! This is really happening!
Champions everyone who dares to ask, what would you like the power to do?
Hello everyone, welcome to the Game of Frame live stream. I'm Josh Pratt with Aidan White behind the camera. And we're coming to you live from St. John's Belser Stadium for Excelsior, New York against Met Oval Academy. It's a huge evening in the League for Clubs North Division of the East Conference. The playoff race hangs in the balance. We have a quick look at the table. Here at St. John's, it's a fight for the top between Excelsior and Met Oval. And kicking off about 30 minutes ago, third place Kingston against Sousa. A lot could change this evening. If Met Oval or Excelsior win, they could establish themselves as clear front runners in the playoff race, depending upon the result in the other game. Or we could come out of this evening conceivably with all top 4 in touching distance of each other. This season has been characterised by closely fought contests and at times surprises. Excelsior are the only unbeaten team left in the East Conference. They maintained that record thanks to a 96th minute Samuel Dundas equaliser last weekend. Met Oval, the defending League for Clubs national champions, meanwhile, had their remarkable 10-match unbeaten run ended by rivals Sousa last Sunday. That was Sousa's first win in the league for clubs and has added an unexpected twist to the playoff race. If Sousa can beat Kingston tonight, they will certainly be joining the hunt for a top 2 spot. And this is Excelsior's first season as a men's team. They've been going a bit on the youth for a while. And this is their first ever time playing Met Oval, who of course only recently returned to men's football themselves, but did so in spectacular fashion, winning the entire league for clubs last year. And we've got our teams lined up to the right of us, just preparing to walk out. Is a picture perfect evening. We are sitting at about 80 degrees, not some of the stifling heats we've experienced in past years in the middle of June. And we should have a very entertaining game of football ahead of us. We have our expected starting 11s. For Excelsior, Kofe will be in goal, McHale and Dundas in front of him. Skurek and Bonner, who I believe is a new signing, will be the full-backs. In the midfield, it's Riza and Garvey, and Heredia as the number 10. Valdez and Holt, the wingers, and the Latvian, Briaditis, leading the line. For Met Oval, Fafman in goal. In front of him, Posada, Zaretza and Gonzalez. Two of those players returners from the national winning championship side last year. Kasia will probably be wearing the armband again, the ticking clock in the heart of Met Oval's midfield. Alongside him will be Mana. And in this 3-4-3 system Coach Berklow favours, TJ Bernhard, the left wing back, Nelson Reynoso, the right wing back, and a front three of Chris Sullivan on the left side, Carlo Brown the right side, and incoming UPenn freshman Jasper Moorhead leading the line. Jasper Moorhead, a player we followed for 5 years on Game of Frame, since he was playing at a local academy in Brooklyn, to moving to Met Oval 2 or 3 years ago. He is a tremendous talent. As out come Excelsior and Met Oval, top of the North Division, on the line this evening. If one can win, they seize their hand on a playoff spot. Although still some season to play after today. Each team will have 3 games remaining in the North Conference, plus for Met Oval, 1 in the East General. But this evening certainly could be pivotal.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Belson Stadium. Welcome to Cox Family Field at Belson Stadium here on the campus of St. John's University for tonight's League of Clubs matchup featuring Met Oval and your Excelsior New York. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask those who are able to please rise, remove your hats, and join our players, coaches, and officials in honoring America with the playing of our national anthem.
last weekend was an inauguration at St John's for Excelsior that everyone will remember. Perhaps going into the night they would have expected to get 3 points against First State, but even notwithstanding that, John Dundas's 96th minute equaliser, a moment I think everyone involved with the club will remember for a long time. And after today, Excelsior will look forward to 2 more home dates at St John's. So finishing with a good run here at the end of the season, the regular season. TJ Bernard actually will be wearing the armband this evening for Met Oval. Reza, the hefty number 8 for Excelsior. Particularly to watch for Excelsior, Prieditis, the Latvian striker, just finished his freshman year at Bridgeport, 8 goals in 21 games. Met Oval have to keep a very close eye on him. Jasper Moorhead, the incoming freshman at UPenn, will kick us off it. And here we go. First versus second in the League for Clubs North Division. One of these teams can take a huge step towards the postseason. If there is a loser today, they could really get tugged into the mixing pot with Kingston and Susa. First meeting between these clubs. Met Oval, of course, a historic Beds Day, not just in New York soccer, but the American story indeed. They just celebrated 100 years, Met Oval. And their academy has produced a glittering array of talent through the years, many going pro. Here's TJ Bernard. That's a little bit too much of Carlo Brown. Actually looks like Carlo Brown is starting on the left wing with Chris Sullivan on the right. Coach Zef Kabashi opting for a 4-3-3 for Excelsior, and Coach John Burklow the 3-4-3, which Met Oval played almost exclusively in the National Championship winning season. It's definitely a somewhat high-risk season, or excuse me, a system playing out from the back with just that 3. But Met Oval's players have the drilling, have the quality, have the composure to do it very often. And last year, they passed many teams off the pitch, albeit Coach Burklow admitting he feels perhaps, at least in the first half of the season, this Met Oval team has been a little bit off the very high standards they set last year. As that's driven in. Bernard well positioned. And Met Oval did suffer their first defeat in 11 League for Club games last weekend against Susa. And when we last saw them at home against First State, they grinded out a 1-0 win, but it wasn't the most convincing. But on their day, this Met Oval team can be unplayable, particularly this man in the middle, Kasha. But Excelsior looking like a real force this season, the only unbeaten team remaining in the East Conference of the league for clubs. 3 draws, 3 wins. And they've played the big boys, most of them. They beat Kingston, they drew against Monmouth, drew against Susa, beat Susa. It's just met Oval, who they haven't met. Let's see how they measure up. It's a player down already for Excelsior. Posada wins that tackle. One of 11 returners from last year in Coach Berklow's squad today. I think it's Prieditis, the Latvian, who's down. He's pulled up very, very early. And Excelsior are going to kick it out so he can get some attention. Well, whilst we have this break, guys, let me remind you today's broadcast is sponsored by Umbro, who have made a fantastic platform for designing your own kit. You can learn more by heading to umbroteam.com. You know, it's not Prieditis who's going off. I think it's maybe Heredia. A little hard to see some of these Excelsior numbers, but I think it is Heredia, who you can see had to basically be carried off. So I think, unfortunately, Excelsior are going to have to make a change in these first 5 minutes. Not sure if Heredia even touched the ball. So Excelsior temporarily reduced to 10. And here comes Prieditis driving forwards. Hammered near post into the hands of Fafman. They made some really good saves to Met Oval in their game against First State. And a score update from our other League for Clubs broadcast this evening on Game of Frame. Brooklyn FC, who have struggled very much this season, yet to pick up a point, are leading against Atlantic City, who are 4th in the entire East standings. So shock lead for Brooklyn. We'll see if they can hold that up. Brooklyn already eliminated from playoffs, having played 5 out of the 8 North games and lost all of them. Posada searching towards Sullivan. Headed clear by Shirek. Excelsior still down to 10. Can't imagine they're going to try and bring Heredia back on. They've got someone warming up active. Perhaps just want to make sure they don't get someone else pull a muscle. I think he's being waved over by the bench. McHale. Coffey with the clearance. Coffey at UPenn, rising junior, product of BW Gotchi, a Met Oval rival. Quite a number of BW Gotchi Academy products in this Excelsior team. Of course, another very historic name in the New York soccer scene, and a fierce competitor of Met Oval through the decades. Zaretsa. Manna. Sullivan returns it to Manna. Reza came in uncompromisingly. to the back of Sullivan. Well, this is taking a long time for Excelsior to sub on a replacement for the injured Heredia. Metoval are going to get the first corner kick of the evening. Rizzo with the touch. TJ Bernhard to deliver in the early corner kick. Everyone back for Excelsior. That's a really good ball. And a good chance for Xavi Gonzalez, who couldn't keep the header down. Just needed a clean connection, and that would have been the opener, certainly from that range. Casher with the header. Scored his first senior goal for Metoval 10 days ago. Doesn't usually directly score them, but certainly a huge part of Metoval's possession game and build-up. Xavi-esque player, quite a low centre of gravity, can twist and turn out of pressure. Never flustered. Rarely wrong with his decision-making. And finally, we're going to get the Excelsior change for their injured Heredia. They've played for 5 minutes, down to 10 men Excelsior since that injury. Taking a long time for the sub to come on. Kofe drives it along. Holt races after it. Just trying to get a look at who it is who's come on. It's Kasha. So it's number 23. We actually do not have that on the roster that we have provided. So we're just going to give a quick check in a second who that is. That's a good bit of build-up from Metoval. Jasper Moorhead.
Fans entering the game.
Reynoso.
Excelsior, New York. Number 23, Irvin Radonic. He replaces Alvaro Herrera.
So it's actually Irvin Radonic who just must have switched his number. I knew arrived a little bit late. And winning it back, give and go with Posada. Andy Kasha. Positive touch by Carlo Brown. Chris Sullivan returns it to him. Brown finds the wing up. Gonzalez. Posada. Carlo Brown. Not an accurate enough ball by Brown, and then a second error by him. Prieditis does well, and Doncic will bring it up Holt, one-on-one with Gonzalez. Holt nearly managed to cut inside of Gonzalez, but the right centre-back hanging a foot in there. Jasper Moorhead is very pacey. Does so well there to hold that ball up. He's by himself with 4 blue shirts. Man up. Gonzalez tried to force that ball to Sullivan. It was cut out. Gonzalez with the tackle. We should certainly get goals today. 29 between Excelsior and Metovo. They're the top scorers in the north. Holt. Correct. We're running that tackle. Prieditis looking for Valdez. Good shepherding by Posada to let that run back to Fafman. TJ Bernard, who spent a lot of the national winning season playing in the left centre-back position, but Carlos Villa has not been in the starting 11 as much for Coach Berkeley. I'm not sure, maybe he's just struggling a little bit with a knock. Played a lot of games for Queen's College in his freshman season. But with his absence, that has pushed Bernhard up into the left midfield or left wing back position, you might say. Gonzalez. Kasha. Metovo having most of the ball in these first 15 minutes. Patient possession. Moorhead, lovely dip of the shoulder. That final ball lacking though. Moorhead actually, when we first started watching him on Game of Frame 5 years ago, he was a centre-back. And I don't think I'm doing him a disservice to say he was not the most technical player back then. And then I just remember around the age of 14, 15, suddenly this teenager started to dazzle with his footwork, these really intricate touches, and he did grow very early, Jasper Moorhead. He was a tall, gangly teenager. Suddenly he was prancing around with the ball, beating defenders left, right, centre, and got converted into a centre forwards, and an absolutely prolific one. Almost a complete package with the technical ability, the finishing, the athleticism, and the height. UPenn certainly have got a very exciting prospect coming in. There's a little shove by Prieditis in the back of Bernard. Kasha. Gonzalez. Zaretsa, the base of the Metovo defence. Came off of their heels there, inadvertently a man up. Mana does well to win that off of Valdez. Metovo have had most of the ball. Only shot on target thus far, or indeed shot of the game, has come from Excelsior. Holt stinging the palms of Fafman. Crossfield ball by Gonzalez. Carlo Brown, I think, was trying to set that inside for Moorhead. And there's a little shoulder to shoulder between Valdez and Posada. And Valdez took quite a heavy knock there. It sounded heavy into the bleachers. Getting up quickly enough. Gonzalez. Manna. Didn't get the height on that ball. Sullivan got a toe to it though. Reynoso will help it back to Chris Sullivan. Good recovery run.
Come on, man. Get it out of there.
Right, Garvey, but Excelsior playing with fire a little bit. Garvey again. Varda's back to Bonner, the new signing. Varda's into Garvey. Got his footwork wrong. Prietitis immediately sandwiched by two white shirts. Driven along towards TJ Bernard. Excellent diagonal ball by Gonzalez. Bernard inside. Brown! Opener for Met Oval. It's a special delivery once again from TJ Bernard. And Brown just had to get good contact. The national champions ahead 19 minutes in at St. John's. Beautifully worked move by Met Oval. A real classic. They drew in the press. Gonzalez with a sensational diagonal ball. Took half of Excelsior out of the game. And then Bernard with a sizzling left-footed delivery. Brown doing very well to control the finish. It was high. Just had to keep over it. "20 minutes gone here. Met Oval responding in the perfect way to that defeat against Sousa.
Let's go. Go.
Met Oval goal scored in
Met
the
Oval's
19th
15th
minute
goal
by number 18
of the
Carlo
season.
Brown. The assist to number 2, TJ Bernhard. Once again, that is Brown and Bernhard in the 19th minute for Met Oval.
Bernard. And the Leaf Club's website is not listing goals and assists this season, so unfortunately not exactly sure on the stats, but I can tell you we've already seen Bernard get one really high quality assist with that left foot. Won't be surprised if he's racked up a few more. So early in the evening, this scoreline leaves Met Oval leapfrogging Excelsior in the pole position. They will be on 12 points in the North Division. Excelsior on 10. Again, Kingston, Stockade and Sousa kicked off at 7 tonight. Not sure exactly what that scoreline is right now. But Sousa, after a slow start, certainly showed some teeth beating Met Oval last weekend. If they could beat Kingston tonight, then it's going to be very tight, the top four. Bernard.
Take the ball.
And more surprise, we'll just get that update in a second actually from Brooklyn City. Here comes Carlo Brown towards the byline. Carlo Brown, good clearance at the near post. Fired back in. Quick fire double for Met Oval. It's Manna. Placement through the bodies. I think Kofe was missighted. There wasn't a lot of power on the strike, but it snuck into that bottom right corner. That's been a disastrous 3 minutes for Excelsior. And the other score update is Brooklyn City are leading 2-0 against Atlantic City now. Live from Brooklyn. Excelsior heading to their first defeat in the league for clubs. Plenty of time to turn this around, but they've got a hill to climb against the national champions. They are looking a little bit rattled at the moment. That looked like a foul. The referee is going to allow play to continue. Predatis, good recovery by Gonzalez. Corner kick for the hosts.
By number 5, That's Nana in the 23rd minute for Red Oval.
Swinging towards the near post. Swinging back in, and Bernard with the clearance. Bonner.
I'm happy you feel that way. I'm very happy.
Metovo now have only failed to score once in 18 League for Club games. Remarkable record. Gonzalez driving it forwards. Reynoso, this could get worse here for Excelsior. Reynoso. Excelsior absolutely shell-shocked at the moment. Metovo again behind them at will. And there is a stunned silence around St. John's. I was saying at the start of the broadcast, Metovo not always firing at full cylinders this campaign compared to the very high standards they set last year. But his last 5-6 minutes they have shown themselves at their absolute best. First goal, fantastically worked. That ball just kept in by Xavi Gonzalez. Holt trying to wing it back. Mana's given that to Predatis. He's in the box. Posada's got to be careful. Predatis going down. And Excelsior going to have a free kick. Quite a soft one, I think, right on the edge of the penalty area. Well, they do say 2-0, the most dangerous lead in football. Lots of time for Excelsior, and one goal back will immediately change the complexion of the game. But difficult start for those. Also, they lost Heredia, excuse me, inside 5 minutes to injury. Might have shaken up their game plan a bit. Valdez towards the far post over the crossbar. Pfaffman. Gonzalez to Kasia. And characteristically loose by Metovo centre midfielder. But he made quick amends for it. Jasper Moorhead. Being wrestled a little too enthusiastically from behind. Not the most amazing of balls perhaps by Posada, but Sullivan managed to keep it alive. Mana. One back in the middle, and Mana surging onto it. Jasper Moorhead invited forwards. A couple of white shirts to aim for Moorhead. He might take on himself. Jasper Moorhead, still with him, Moorhead. Jasper Moorhead, and it comes to Sullivan. Brilliant block. Super block to stop that. I think that was McHale there diving in. Excelsior looking in real danger of conceding a third. It's been one-way traffic since Metovo took the lead in the 20th minute. Mana. Sullivan. Popped up towards Jasper Moorhead. Commanding header by McHale. Moorhead once more. Good first touch by him. Kasia. Excelsior had only conceded one goal in the North Conference leading up to date. But it's just a different proposition when you're facing Metovo and that front line. They did the back line, did the midfield. That first got an entire team build-up. Moorhead got hauled over from McHale. Sun setting here in Queens. It's a lovely breezy temperature. Should aid the tempo. And Excelsior going to make another change. First one was forced by injury. It's Holt who's coming off, and he's hobbling a little bit too, so I wonder if he took a knock. Jorge Rodriguez will replace him.
The game for Excelsior New York, number 14, George Rodriguez. He replaces Adam Holt.
Mana will swing it in. Flag goes up. And that linesman actually should have waited to see who touched the ball before raising the flag. But academic anyway. Mana. Sullivan. Reynoso. The throw-in for Excelsior. Zaretsa. Over not very happy with that. Late contact on him. Cash up. Play continues and Zaretsa making his way back to his feet. Lovely step over by Mana, who's looking for an ambitious ball behind for Moorhead, couldn't find him. Bonner. Knocks force towards Mana. He got a kick, and I think there was a little bit of theatrics from Mana trying to get himself a penalty. Reynoso. Mana. Excelsior winning the free kick and another good crossing position. They've had a few of these set pieces in decent crossing areas. Radoncic and Valdez plotting. Valdez will float it in. That easily plucked out the sky by Fafman. Dundas. Really loose from Dundas. And then he won it back fairly. Bit of a physical mismatch that, but mismatch between him and Mana. About 2 feet of difference in height. Ball is swung in towards the far post. Great cross. And an even better header at the far post by Posada. Took it off the head of Prieditis. Good triangle by Excelsior. Radoncic. Fafman gathering, and he was judged to have got fouled. That's going to be interesting to watch back. I'm not actually sure who got the contact with his own defender or an Excelsior player. Matt Oval may have got away with one there.
You guys got a replay on that camera or no? No replay?
Excelsior are threatening again here. Garvey just overran it, but the hosts waking up these last few minutes, starting to probe Metover's back line. It's going to be a yellow card for Sullivan. A bit of a naughty late tackle on Radoncic.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee has shown the yellow card.
7 minutes remaining in the first half.
In the 38th minute.
2 goals in the space of 3 minutes for Metovo around the 20-minute mark. Colo Brown and Manor giving the national champions the 2-goal lead here at St John's. Kofei drives it up. Too high for Prieditis. Very nice so. Searching long ball. Cash on the second. Okay, heading clear. Predators not giving up on that ball. Somehow Javi Gonzalez escaping that pocket, but Reynoso couldn't. Valdez. Lovely footwork by Valdez. Not a good ball out wide though. To Bonner. Searching ball cross field by Gonzalez. Well contained by Radoncic. Predator sets it back. German cross field. Radoncic had that ball intercepted by Bernard. It will be a throw for Excelsior. Certainly looking better, the hosts, after lackluster first 30-35 minutes, but having more possession, and they have looked threatening. Cleared by Posada. Lovely touch there by Brown. Moorhead. Bernard. Always patience from Metovo. Posada. Bernard. Bernard. He'll get it a second time. Sullivan. Reynoso. Kasia. Gonzalez. Lost out on it, Valdez. Really good tracking back from Mane. And, you know, I think Riza has gone to the right back position now for Excelsior. They've definitely done some positional swapping. And Bonner looks like the right hand back, or they may actually have switched to a 3-5-2 Excelsior. I think that might be it. With Shirek and Riza as the wing backs, Bonner, McHale and Dundas, the centre back trio. Kasia. Colo Brown. Couldn't find Bernard on the edge of the penalty area. Posada. Kasia. Mana, errant ball by Gonzalez, but kept alive by Mana. Reynoso. Moorhead. Lost after net. Radoncic doing well. Valdez. Prietitis. Excelsior were set for a throw-in. About a minute remaining in the first half. Held in. Popped up. Chris with the first header. Not cleared. Dundas. Bicycle kick. Excelsior with the all-important goal right before the interval. The height of Dundas. Setting it up. And it looks like the Latvian Prietitis with the acrobatic finish. And the home crowd haven't had a lot to cheer about in this first half. But right before the interval, they halve the deficit. Goal could not come at a better time. That totally changes both teams. Half-time team talks.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth official has indicated that approximately 3 minutes will be added to the first half.
We've got 3 minutes of stoppage time to play here. That goal's fired up the drum and it's fired up the home crowd. Let's see, does it fire these Excelsior players? Excelsior certainly with the height advantage in all these set pieces, and Dundas is an absolute giant. Really good cushioned header to Prietitis. Sullivan.
Excelsior
Moorhead.
goal scored in the 45th minute by number 20, Christian Prietitis. Assist to number 13,
Kasha.
Daniel Dundas.
Lovely floated ball. Reynoso.
Prietitis from Dundas in the 45th
Heavy
minute
touch.
for Excelsior New York.
He had Collar Brown in the middle. Soval will have to settle for the throw-in. Not sure what's happened there. Referee has given a yellow to Reynoso. Not sure if it was something he said or just taking too long to throw the ball in. Got to presume it was for time wasting. Really not sure. Perplexing. Final seconds of the half. Prietitis has given Excelsior life here. Down by 2 goals for 20 minutes here at St. John's, but right on the stroke of half time, he's made it 2-1. Excelsior with something to chase here. Don't go now, guys, we'll be back shortly. But for now, it's my absolute pleasure to present to you our May Save of the Month nominees.
We
from Del Pozo. St. Bill first time cross and McGregor header! What a save by Granados on the reaction. Got it with the right glove. Good direction from McGregor. Better save from Granados.
Shot was there for Excelsior. And there it is again. Now did Stefano. He got a touch on that ball. Great reflexes there from the goalkeeper.
Away. Gotti. Shooting from long range. Bejarano at full stretch rebound. He got a tip as well. Great diving save from Bejarano. He got it with his left paw.
Larkin still with it, gets around Juan Larkin with a cross. Larkin finds a man and a beautiful save by Edwards.
Chance here. Here's Barone with the ball into the middle. And Emmanuel with a shot and save by the goalkeeper. What a great stretch to cover that goal.
But he plays it in. A dangerous one. Still live here in the box. And eventually saved there by Stefanovic. Stefanovic makes the crucial save. But here's another wonderful ball. Rise and fall.
A diving effort, Papinga denies it once more.
Sizzling with pace. Stuga Dembele onto his left foot. Dembele tipped round the post by Choi. One into the other in the blink of an eye by Osners. And that might have just been cutting in to the top corner.
Bird right into the middle. Now a chance of Zuma. Doesn't get all of it. And sprawling there for the glove save.
Brought to you by Praxis Sports, the unified platform helping sports organizations manage communication, scheduling, and operations in one place. Learn more at praxisports.com.
There's a leisurely lunch with friends. And then there's a 7-course gourmet tasting lunch with 7 perfect wine pairings aboard a fully restored 1915 Pullman rail car as it floats past rolling hills and rows of vines stretching out as far as the eye can see. Napa Valley. Live a little, or a lot.
What would you like the power to do? Your passion for this game opens opportunities. For them, for our local businesses,
Got the new merch.
Oh my goodness.
for the community. Because when local businesses thrive, the community also thrives. Bank of America champions everyone who dares to ask, what would you like the power to do? What would you like the power to do? Your passion for this game opens opportunities for our local businesses, for the entire community. Bank of America champions everyone who dares to ask, what would you like the power to do? Bank of America champions everyone who dares to ask, what would you like the power to do?
Brought to you by Praxis Sports, the unified platform helping sports organizations manage communication, scheduling, Brought to you by Praxis Sports, the unified platform helping sports organizations manage communication, scheduling, and operations in one place. Learn more at praxisports.com.
There's a leisurely lunch with friends. And then there's a 7-course gourmet tasting lunch with 7 perfect wine pairings aboard a fully restored 1915 Pullman rail car as it floats past rolling hills and rows of vines stretching out as far as the eye can see. Napa Valley. Live a little, or a lot.
What would you like the power to do? Your passion for this game opens opportunities. For them, for our local businesses,
Got the new merch.
Oh my goodness.
for the community. Because when local businesses thrive, the community also thrives. Bank of America champions everyone who dares to ask, what would you like the power to do? What would you like the power to do? Your passion for this game opens opportunities for our local businesses, for the entire community. Bank of America champions everyone who dares to ask, what would you like the power to do? Bank of America champions everyone who dares to ask, what would you like the power to do?
Hello everyone, welcome back to St. John's Belsen Stadium. Excelsior pulling one back right before the half-time whistle. Give themselves a foothold in this top of the table clash. Latest score update we have from Brooklyn College's Brooklyn City leading Atlantic City 3-1. That'll be Brooklyn's first ever win and indeed points in the Leaf Club's shock victory against Atlantic City, who are 4th in the entire East Conference. Good work there by Reynoso. Moorhead. TJ Bernard. Manna. Moorhead to Sullivan. Looks like both teams unchanged going into this second half. There is Carlo Brown and Manna on the score sheet for Met Oval, and Prieditis for Excelsior right before the interval. Set back towards Jasper Moorhead. Moorhead, his shot blocked, and then Kasia had a swing at it, very ambitious one. Gonzalez. Throwing for Met Oval. Reynoso. Moorhead, crisp passing from Met Oval. Manna has some space to drive up into. Carlo Brown. Showing a little bit too much to the Excelsior defenders, but won it straight back. Reynoso down the channel. Sullivan. Zaretzas. Reynoso. Gonzalez. Posada. TJ Bernard. Sullivan. Reynoso. Cannoned off of the heels of Shurek. There's a little push in the back there on Prieditis, referee not seeing it. Posada, it's a little tight back there for Met Oval, but Posada doing brilliantly to bring it out. Sullivan. Gonzalez. Sullivan. Met Oval had most of the possession in the first half. And starting the second much the same way. Lovely interchange there. Reynoso. Kasia. Posada. Manna. Dispossessed. And there was a slight tug, referee didn't see enough in it. Kasia. Sullivan. It opens up here for Chris Sullivan, cuts back onto his left. Carlo Brown onto his left foot, took a deflection. Important tackle by Bonner, corner kick for Met Oval, who have started this second half positively. Going to be, well, I thought it was going to be an in-swinging corner, instead given to Bernhard. That was blocked by Jorge Rodriguez. Bernard, really good footwork by him. Collar Brown. There's an extra zip in Metovo's step compared to what I saw from them against First State about 10 days ago. Passing has just been a bit crisper. There's a lot of unforced errors when they played against First State, but there's a real precision to them tonight and fluidity. Posada. Bernard, who set up the first goal with a lovely cross. Posada on the overlap, headed out the near post by Bonner. Sullivan floats it back in. Good shout and gather by Kofe. He's going to drive up towards Predatis, who's got a significant physical presence. He holds it up. Rodriguez. Garvey. Play continues. Referee has given a yellow there to Bernhard and to Predatis. The two tussled after the initial tack on this area by Bernhard.
Yo, come on, ref, what are we doing?
Not sure if a free kick has been given to Excelsior there. The referee may have either waved it away or tried to play the advantage.
Make some good calls, bro.
And he has given a free kick here to Excelsior. Right next to the penalty area. Long debate here over this free kick. It's Bernard and Predatis still getting a talking to, which has gone on for quite some time. I'm not sure if everyone is appreciating this sermon from the referee. Finally, it's over. I think perhaps a simpler comment would be, you do that again, you're off. Quite a long talk there, it lasted 2 or 3 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee has shown a yellow card to Met Oval's number 2, TJ Bernard, and to Excelsior New York's number 20, Christian Paredes.
Just getting a score update from Sousa as well. Looking at the Leaf Club's live stream, they did have a little trouble updating the scoreboard last week for the Metovo game, so take this as 95% accurate. But Sousa right now trailing 1-0 to Kingston Stockade. That means if Excelsior lose, they're going to be out of the playoff zone, at least for now, albeit with a game in hand on Kingston. So Metovo currently sitting on 12 points, having played 5. Excelsior will let this free kick just run out, actually, before we go on. Low delivery, a little bit underwhelming, and the bounce breaking away from Skorek, and now Metova going to break. Kasha has Moorhead and Bernhard with him. Kasha looks across for Bernhard. It nearly threaded its way through. Really important interception. John Bonner, or actually Garvey even, excuse me, doing the hard running to get back there with the all-important touch. But right now, the North Conference table, Metovo top with 12 points. And at the end of the night, they will have played 5. Excelsior, or actually Kingston Stockade, having played 6, will be on 12 points. Colo Brown overran it. And Excelsior will be sitting on 10 points, having played 5. So Excelsior just 2 points out of the zone with the game in hand on Kingston Stockade. Metovo will play Kingston Stockade in their next game, and then Kingston in their next match after that will play Kingston Stockade. So really pivotal week, you would say, in deciding who the top 3 is going to be. But right now it looks like it's going to be a good night for Metovo, although not decisive. And Excelsior with some work still to do. Unless Sousa can draw level against Kingston. Reynoso. Kasha. Perhaps with how Metovo are playing tonight for Excelsior, it's just about staying in the game until those final stages. The hosts are going to make their 3rd change. They made 2 in the first half, 1 forced by injury, and I think the second possibly 2. Valdez has come off, and
Ladies and gentlemen,
Brian
entering the game for
Sousa
Excelsior, New York,
replacing
number
him.
9, Brian Sousa. He replaces Sebastian Valdez.
Mana. Sousa, certainly someone who can find a goal. Played a period professionally in Portugal, played for the Red Bulls too. And here is Brian Sousa chasing his first ball. I believe Metovo making a sub at half time, returning goalkeeper Constantino. Christo Dulau coming on. Christo Dulau with a good ball up to Sullivan. He sprays it on the diagonal. Garvey tracking back again. Really nicely done by Bonner. Colo Brown. Kasha. Zaressa. That's a searching ball. The flag will go up here against Bernhard. Looked like he did go fractionally early there. Kasha. Sullivan. Reynoso. Too close. Took off 8. Predatist didn't get proper contact on the header. Loose pass up to Moorhead. It's correct. Able to keep the amber, not much more at full stretch. So tactically now, both teams effectively playing 4-3-3, or 3-4-3s, excuse me. Metovo starting with that. Excelsior starting with a 4-3-3, but after about 10 minutes they made the change themselves. Good surge forwards by Zaretsa. Sullivan. Zaretsa still driving up the centre back. Sullivan, too long on it. Kasha. Metovo, surely you want that third, just give the cushion. And they certainly started that way, not setting back. Rather focused on increasing the lead back to the 2-goal margin, which they had for much of the first half. Kasha. Excelsior trying to stay compact. Reynoso. Zaretsa. TJ Bernard. Brown. Kasha. Sullivan. Moorhead. Strong there, Jasper Moorhead. He gets it back from Bernard. Jasper Moorhead. Jasper Moorhead! That's his territory. Good purchase on the strike. Did well to get himself half a yard. Couldn't tuck it into that bottom corner. But how many times through the 5 years we followed Game and Frame, follow Jasper Moorhead on Game and Frame, have we seen him score from that position? This is a little concerning for Metovo. Cash is going to need some medical attention. Whilst we have this interval, guys, let me remind you that our voting for Save of the Month is open. You can head to Instagram, voting closes tomorrow night. And also we've got a lot more action still coming up on Game and Frame this weekend. Tomorrow evening, UPSL American South semi-final. We've had all 4 of the American Conference semi-finals between North and South this weekend on Game and Frame. 3 of them tonight. Lone Star against Alliance in the last one tomorrow at 5 p.m. We're also going to have the APSL DRC promotion relegation playoff against Medford and Persepolis United. Whoever wins will be in the American Premier Soccer League DRC next season. Then on the 24th, a really big occasion, American Soccer Club taking on Cosmos in the Kick ALS Cup. And finally, we'll have Brooklyn City against Sousa in the League for Clubs, also on the 24th. Big lineup coming up next weekend too. We'll be back with Excelsior on Saturday night. Oh, we had a delay there. Kasha having to come off, hopefully not too worse for wear.
Ladies and gentlemen, entering the game for Excelsior New York, number 25, Giuseppe Barone. He replaces
Giuseppe Barone also on.
Tim Garvey. Entering the game for Matt Oval, number 6, Justin Bianco.
Searching ball.
He replaces
And Salsa almost behind.
Andy Caza.
Costa Thulu. Excelsior winning it back. Skorek. And there's house for handballs from Excelsior. They might not need it. Prieditis, they wouldn't set down Garvey. And Met Oval survived. That was hair-raising stuff for the champions. Excelsior had them on the ropes there for a second. Handball, appeal waved away, and then a couple of ricochets, which really could have seen it land anywhere. Reynoso. Trying to take on Correct, and it could have been a foul one way or the other, and neither given. Home crowd feeling unhappy, as you can hear. That second wasn't awarded. Reynoso going down with a lot of bravado. Referee not buying it. Play continues. Moorhead. Manor. He's already hit one. Manor again. Not on target this time. Titanic header by Loretza. Ball intercepted by Bernard, and then he got caught late. Clumsy tackle. Good step up by Bonner. Excelsior looking threatening here. Rodriguez was forced back. It will be thrown for the host. They've got a little over 20 minutes to tie this up. They came back from 2-1 down dramatically last weekend. Dundas with practically the last kick of the game, playing as a makeshift centre forward, scoring it. He's making his weapons penalty area here to add some height. Sullivan taking no chances. Going towards Dundas, who stays forwards. Offside flag going up against him. Took that down like a centre forward there, Dundas. May have missed his calling. Oval making another change. It's, I think, Donovan Marriott will just get confirmation in a second. Both coaches making plenty of alterations now. Here's Sullivan. He's just got confirmation. Here's Marriott, who's gone to centre back, big imposing presence. Sneto will just start to look towards holding on to this lead. Blanco, Moorhead, beautiful interchange in the middle, and Reynoso is onside. Sends it across, not a good enough ball to Blanco. Dundas took a massive chance there. He redeemed himself quickly. Marriott and Jorge Rodriguez shoulder to shoulder. And Rodriguez hauling down the hefty Marriott. I'm not sure the crowd has too much to complain about here. Looked like a pretty Stonewall free kick. Slightly too much on it. For Carlo Brown. Metover going to make another change. TJ Bernard, who delivered up a delicious cross for the opener tonight. Actually, no, it's not him, excuse me. It's Carlo Brown withdrawn. And Justin Jean Lewis replacing him. Carlo Brown scoring on the end of that Bernard cross.
Ladies and gentlemen, entering the game for Met Oval, number 7, Justin Jean Lee. He replaces Carlo Brown.
So Retz is doing well there. Marriott. Reynoso. John Lewis. Tried to let that run for Moorhead. John Lewis finding Chris Sullivan. Reynoso, he's got Dundas a little isolated here, and he's got Sullivan on the overlap. Reynoso, Sullivan, sublimely timed tackle by Samuel Dundas, who wants the goal kick. Is going to be given as a corner. Had to get that just right, Dundas. And he did. Another change coming for Excelsior. Radoncic is going to be withdrawn for Dylan Gergen. Bernard will serve this up. Oh, King in, big punch out by the goalkeeper, Kerfay, and his defenders completing the clearance. Bernard gives it all the way back to Justin Blanco, who is about to go in to Stetson as a freshman, graduating U19 from Met Oval. So much of this team are either recent graduates or even a few current players. Coach John Buckler, also head coach of the U19s, so really overseeing a lot of these players' progress as they move into adulthood. Guggen. Prioritis and made the run. Pass didn't have the required precision. John Lewis still on the ball as he tried to turn. Guggen. Dare I say it, the middle of June, it's getting a little nippy here. Excelsior looking to warm up. Coasted in, headed clear. Guggen. Oh, it's drawn a really good save. The rebound saved again by Christo Dulo. And once more hits the post. Oh, what an effort. Giuseppe Barone rattling the woodwork. How did Met Oval survive there? Christo Dulau with 2 point-blank saves. And Barone nearly cleaving the post in half with that hit. But that will give Excelsior lots of confidence as they head into the final stages of the game. I think that's going to be the final action for Skorek. He might try and walk off. He was getting cramp. Another change being made for Metovic. Reynoso, who's come off. Get a look shortly who came on. Long throw in, a bunch of bodies went down. Referee seeing it half one way, half the other. Excelsior still knocking on the door, and the hosts will get the corner kick. Sebastian Sanchez has just come on for Excelsior. I think it was Skorek actually ended up making weight. Sent towards the near post. I think that should be another corner kick. It will be. Best spell of the evening for Excelsior. Can they find that equaliser? Travel across the 6-yard box. Not a bad delivery, but no one in blue able to redirect onto the frame. Sullivan would just put some distance between the ball and Met Oval's goal. Some welcome distance. I think Coach Buckler switched Met Oval to a back 5 now as he tries to protect the lead. Driven in, it's another save by Christo Thulu, and that time into the side netting, very narrow angle.
Let's go, boys, come on!
Excelsior going through the gears here very quickly. They've had 5 shots in the last 3 minutes. Mijatovic, the player who came on from Met Oval 2 minutes ago. He's in the right wing-back position. John Lewis and Bernard offside. Excelsior taking the free kick quickly. Not the best ball. And Metovo will look to punish. Mijatovic also a bit loose with his pass. And then that's going to be a free kick. Metovo making another substitution. I think that's it for the outfielders. Sullivan is going to come off. I think Excelsior might be playing with 3 up front. Been a lot of subs, a lot of positional changes. Miscommunication for Metovo. And the shot goes over the crossbar for Excelsior. They still cannot find that equaliser. Certainly not for lack of trying. Prietitis couldn't keep on target. Liam Commodore on for Metovo. He's gone into the front line. It's going to be a free kick for Metovo. Brooklyn City have taken a stunning 4-0 lead against Atlantic City. I think that's probably about full time there now. So that's Brooklyn City's first ever points in the league for clubs, and Atlantic City, who started this evening 4th in the NorthEast Conference and who made the league for clubs NorthEast final last year where they lost to Metovo, have been thoroughly humbled in Brooklyn. Man up. Manna wriggling down to the touchline, he's gone down. Oh, that is very contentious. And it is very surprising from the referee, because if you don't give a penalty for that, you have to give a booking. So it's one or the other. And he's chosen in between the middle. Indecisive. Brendan Tanzi replacing Moedu. Although he didn't find a goal, I thought it was excellent tonight. Very good hold-up play. Gave Excelsior lots to think about.
Ladies and gentlemen, entering game for medal goal number 11.
Excelsior coming forwards in numbers. Prietitis. Before it could reach Sanchez, it was cleared by Mijatovic. Sanchez pops up the header. Blanco, combative, concedes the throw in right by the corner flag. Excelsior still have time. Can they repeat the late heroics of last weekend? Those were very, very late. 12 minutes after what we're on the game clock. It's the 90th minute. Equaliser for Samuel Dundas. Metovo are looking a little shaken at the moment. They're letting balls bounce. Here comes Blanco. Bernard. John Lewis, excuse me, cuts back onto his right. Really important touch. Commodore will retrieve it. Tanzi. Commodore again. Sanchez clears it. Zaretsa. Barone, who hit the post. So unfortunate with a good ball there. To Sousa. He hooks it up. Prietitis, what can the Latvian do? He's cut inside of Mariat, who recovered superbly. And then Christo too low. There to gather. If Metovo do come away with the 3 points, definitely gets a lot of credit. Made a really good point blank double save. But there's still time for Excelsior to maintain their spot at the top of the league for clubs, East North table. So, final score at Sousa, Kingston Stockade winning 2-0. So that puts further pressure on Excelsior here. If they can't find that equaliser, they're going to fall behind Kingston this evening and will fall out of the playoff zone, albeit with the game in hand. Met Oval and Excelsior's next games is against Kingston. Massive 7 days in the regular season. Commodore trying to force his way through. Unable to. Rodriguez. Unable to force his way out of that corner. Commodore. Able to turn the game stretched now. Commodore was clipped on the heels. Zaretsa. Tovitz back to Zaretsa. Mariat. Metovold just trying to take some heat out of these final moments. Every second they can keep that ball as one Excelsior isn't pressuring them, but Christo Dulav's distribution going out for the throw-in. Mariat with a hefty clearance. All eyes now on the fourth officials board, which is about to go up. 3 minutes of stoppage time. Not a lot for Excelsior, not nearly as much as what they got last week. I have to say, a little surprised it's not more with how many individual substitution breaks we've had. I think between the teams we may have had 10 individual sub breaks.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth official has indicated there will be approximately 3 minutes of stoppage time added to the second half.
Met Oval nearly there. Nearly back to the summit of the North table. Met Oval will be level on points with Kingston there, but because they're the head-to-head against Kingston. They will stay there for now, but again, huge game. They will have away against Kingston on Wednesday night, and then Excelsior will have in their home game against Kingston on Saturday night. So the top three is going to almost certainly be between them now. Who's going to make their top 2 playoff spots? We could see a lot of musical chairs in the coming days. Can Excelsior rescue a point out of this one? Their beaten record hanging by a thread. That wasn't what they needed there. Commodore will bring it up, and that's a wild tackle by Rodriguez. Sorry, I'm absolutely dumbfounded a free kick hasn't been given there. He got some of the ball, but leapt off the ground with 2 feet. I mean, it's a good old-fashioned tackle. Maybe not blown 15 years ago, but I think in this day and age, that is a definite free kick. Hooked on. It's got to come now for Excelsior. They've got a little over 60 seconds. Positive touch forwards by Gonzalez, run into trouble. Rodriguez even, sorry. Commodore.
Get up, Giuseppe, get up!
He's held on to that too long. There'll be a throw for Met Oval. The referee has booked Liam Commodore. Must be for something he said. And you know, actually, that's could have been a foul there. Play continues. Flag's going to go up against corner. What is actually shocking when I think about this amount of stoppage time that's been given, 3 minutes. And then there's been a push there by the goalkeeper. Kofei's going to go in the book. Well, I think what's really shocking about this time, I had a timeout sheet, unless I'm totally misremembering, the referee talked to Bernard, and I think Prietis down the other end for about 2 minutes. I'm almost certain that was in the second half. It's been a long day, but almost certain, and that was at least 2-3 minutes right there. So how they've only come up with 3 minutes, unless I've totally misremembered that and it was in the first half, I'm really surprised. But if they had decided it's 3 minutes, we're just about up. Even with the slight delays we've had in this stoppage time, that wasn't a weighty ball by Kofei. Met Oval win it back. And that is the full-time whistle. The League for Club champions back to winning ways after a difficult evening, as tempers are just starting to flare a little bit here.
Final score, Met Oval 2.
Marriott was a little unsporting there, getting right in the face of Prietis. It's a bad-tempered ending here at St John's, but Met Oval return to the summit, taking it from Excelsior. The top three is closer than ever. Just 2 points separating, or 3 points separating all of them. Met Oval on 12 points, having played 5. Kingston Stockade on 12, having played 6. And Excelsior on 10, having played 5. Bottom two, I think you can safely say, are out of it now. Sousa on 4, having played 5. Brooklyn City on 3, their first victory of the evening, their first points of the season coming tonight. They're sitting on 3, they're already officially out.
Brought to you by Praxis Sports, the unified platform helping sports organizations manage communication, scheduling, and operations in one place. Learn more at praxisports.com.
There's a leisurely lunch with friends. And then there's a 7-course gourmet tasting lunch with 7 perfect wine pairings aboard a fully restored 1915 Pullman rail car as it floats past rolling hills and rows of vines stretching out as far as the eye can see. Napa Valley. Live a little, or a lot.
What would you like the power to do? Your passion for this game opens opportunities. For them, for our local businesses,
Got the new merch.
Oh my goodness.
for the community. Because when local businesses thrive, the community also thrives. Bank of America champions everyone who dares to ask, what would you like the power to do? What would you like the power to do? Your passion for this game opens opportunities for our local businesses, for the entire community. Bank of America champions everyone who dares to ask, what would you like the power to do? Bank of America champions everyone who dares to ask, what would you like the power to do?